In Brazil, individuals trying to access Elon Musk's social media platform X are facing daily fines that are significantly higher than their annual wages. The Brazilian government has imposed fines on users who attempt to bypass the platform's ban using methods like virtual private networks. These fines are set at nearly $9,000 per day. For many Brazilians, this amount far exceeds their yearly income. According to recent estimates, the average annual wage in Brazil is around $8,000 to $9,000, making the daily fines prohibitively expensive for most individuals. For Brazilian users, these fines represent a severe economic strain. With the fines set higher than what many people earn in a year, the penalties create a significant financial burden for those who wish to continue using X. This situation has forced many individuals to choose between abiding by the ban and risking severe financial consequences, or attempting to access the platform despite the high costs. The high fines have led to widespread frustration and anxiety among users. Many Brazilians rely on X for various purposes, including social interaction, information dissemination, and business communication. The inability to access the platform without facing exorbitant fines has disrupted their online activities and, in some cases, hindered their ability to stay connected with global trends and networks. Brazilian authorities justify these fines as a necessary measure to enforce compliance with legal orders and to prevent the spread of misinformation and harmful content. They argue that such strict enforcement is crucial for maintaining order and ensuring that platforms adhere to regulatory standards. Other than impacting the general public, the feud between Elon Musk and the Brazilian authorities has significant ramifications for Brazilian politicians, especially with local municipal elections approaching in October. X is a critical platform for political communication in Brazil, where it plays a central role in how politicians disseminate their messages, engage with voters, and criticize their opponents. For many Brazilian politicians, X is not just a social media platform, but a primary tool for campaigning and public engagement. Politicians across the spectrum use the platform to announce policy positions, interact with constituents, and mobilize support. With the country preparing for elections that will determine mayors for over 5,500 towns and cities, the timing of the feud could not be more impactful. Candidates who frequently use the platform to broadcast live updates, share campaign events, and rally supporters are finding their ability to communicate severely compromised. For example, prominent politicians like São Paulo Mayor Ricardo Nunes and Rio de Janeiro's Mayor Eduardo Paes, who actively use X to engage with voters and shape public discourse, are particularly affected. Their communication strategies are hindered by the inability of their followers to access the platform. The restriction on X affects not just the politicians, but also the electorate. Voters who depend on X for political updates, debates, and candidate information will be experiencing a significant loss of access. This restriction will lead to decreased political engagement, as voters might miss out on critical campaign developments and updates from their preferred candidates. The feud's impact may extend beyond the immediate elections. If the restrictions on X persist, it could lead to longer-term shifts in how Brazilian politicians engage with their constituents. Politicians may be forced to diversify their communication strategies, possibly relying more on traditional media or other digital platforms. The situation could also prompt discussions about the role of social media in politics and the balance between regulatory actions and freedom of expression.